Go? Not until I hit the music.
Oh.
Reset. You have to hit the two buttons. Okay, with that. Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
There we go.
You are now listening to LauerRoadRadio.
Hey, welcome one and all to the number one podcast, winter, spring, and fall. Talking sports for the thrill of it all. Hey, talking life, but we're killing it all. Jason and Dan with the master plan. These are dangerous men with the mic in the hand. Ha! Bonafide winners everywhere that we go. You're a part of the team.
LauerRadio.
Dad light, thug light, bright lights in sight. All right. Dad light, thug light, bright lights in sight. All right. Yeah. Dad light, thug light, bright lights in sight. All right. Bonafide winners everywhere that we go. You're a part of the team.
LauerRadio.
Let's get it.
What?
At Tanagra, when the walls fell, and that feels really, really weird. Because for the entirety of the show, Dan has always done that. I've never hosted a show without him. He has hosted 2 or 3 shows without me,
Yeah.
and it feels weird.
I mean, I've been practicing that opening all day. I was like,
Oh, do you want to do it?
I can, yeah.
Okay, well,
that'd be great.
okay, you do it.
At Tanagra, when the walls fell. This is Dan Owings coming at you another time, as always, with my co-host Jason. Jason, how are you doing today, man?
That's good. That's good. Except you're not Dan Owings. You
I'm not.
are Jesse.
Yes, and
Jesse.
not Jesse Owings either.
That's Owens. That's a different last name, but it's close.
It's close. Jesse
We
Shrake.
get that mixed up all the time. So, yeah, Jesse Shrake, the new producer of the show. We're still working out some details.
Salary's the big one.
Yeah, we'll work on that. Stella's going to be gone here in about 2 or 3 weeks. And I'll tell you her current salary. I buy her dinner. And it usually consists of either Rallies or Arby's. So, maybe we could work something like that out. I mean, we don't do top shelf stuff. I mean, it's usually like dollar menu stuff.
It have to be like carb free.
Oh, see, you're
Yeah,
okay.
me and
Well,
Dan-
listen,
yeah, we'll
we'll
talk
work it
about
out.
it. We'll
We'll
talk
work
about it.
Do you like Jimmy John's?
I've never had Jimmy
Dude,
John's.
they do the unwich. It's any of their subs, they'll wrap it in lettuce.
Ooh,
It's delicious. Next week, I'll bring in unwich.
I'll eat an unwich.
It's fabulous. We won't do it on air because it's really messy. See, the problem is with the bread, it soaks up like the Italian dressing and stuff like that. But with the lettuce, it drips.
Oh yeah.
And so you have to eat it over paper or plate or something
everywhere.
like that because it gets everywhere.
I'm okay. I'm okay being a
fabulous.
slob. I mean,
Listen, for years I worked a job where the boss bought lunch like once a week. Usually it was on a Friday, and they would pick different places and stuff. They would always come to me like, "What do you want for lunch?" I'm like, "I'll take a sloppy sandwich." Like I don't really even care what it is. If it's sloppy, I'll take it. If it's dripping juices of some variety, that's exactly what I want.
it's good.
It's good. The sloppier, the better. That's the right way to go. So, Dan's on vacation. He is in Montana, and he's going to be gone this week, next week, and a partial week. So, I think we'll have you back next week as long as you don't blow it.
I'll try not to. No promises.
No, listen, this family-friendly show, so no F-bombs, no
Okay.
4-letter words, stuff like that. So, I know that's going to be hard.
Tough.
But family-friendly show. Jesse's filling in for Dan, and probably one more week, and then Dan will be back. So we'll see how that goes. And then we're hopefully going to be in a new studio. I don't know when that's going to happen. We're still working out details on that, but possibly sometime in September. And that would be fabulous. It's going to be maybe twice the size of this room. So like
good.
10 by 10. This is a small room. It's good. It's just small. And so I feel like I could touch almost every wall. Yeah, the 7-Eleven gas station, or the bathroom, the behind the bathroom, the closet.
That's why it stinks a little bit.
Yeah, it's a supply closet.
thought it was
And here in a
me.
little bit, we're going to hear some crazy going off. And so it doesn't always come through on the microphones. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But there's usually loud music and people just banging on stuff. And we thought it was the riots this past summer, but I don't really know what's even happening out there. So typically how the show goes is Dan and I both bring things to the table in different over the past couple years or whatever. We've done it in different formats, but we've done 3 and 3 where I bring 3 things and you bring 3 things. Did you bring anything with you to talk about?
I have at least 2.
Now I've got 21. So now this is an ongoing list.
Yeah.
As I think about things, I just type.
Put them in.
and it helps me process because I forget lots of things too. So, so you have a couple things.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you want to lead or do you want me to bring something up here?
Listen, I'll let you take the lead.
Okay.
This is your thing.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. So, I think you'll be with me on this. So you and we've only talked in real life like 2 times.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So we don't know each other. This last weekend we were at a little kid's birthday party, and I had the opportunity to, get out some of my conspiracy theory stuff.
Yes.
And I don't want to be banned on YouTube. I don't want to be flagged for inappropriate content or anything like that. But, pick any topic, and I probably think the alternate reality is true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whatever they tell us to be true is probably not true. And I believe that. So we might hint at some of these things a little bit. But I was going to start off really, really light. So, plus, we don't do religion or politics.
Yeah.
But it's hard not to sometimes.
Yeah, there goes like 47 of my possible topics.
Yeah, I know. It's tough. It's tough. I don't want to hack people off on purpose. But, I mean, I am pro Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And not everybody is. So, what's up, Aaron?
Hey, man.
Do you need something or are you just checking in? Okay, he's just checking in. So, Aaron might be a guest on the show, too. So, we'll see.
Be a good one.
So, here's my idea to fix the border.
Okay.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
I think that what we ought to do is build one wall about 100 yards north of the border.
Okay.
Okay? And we make everything south of that wall to the border a federal prison. And so what we do is we take all of our prisoners, all of our federal people that go to jail, and we put them on the other side of the wall. They have a one-wall prison.
Yeah, I think I see where this is going.
Now, listen, this is great because if people break into the country illegally,
they're in prison.
go directly to jail. Yeah. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200.
Yeah.
Right? It's straight up monopoly.
Yeah.
And then if the prisoners want to escape,
they go out of the country.
They go out of the country.
Yeah.
You know what's going to happen? Mexico will build a wall too.
Yes, they will.
Now we have 2 walls protecting our border.
Yeah.
Is this not the greatest idea ever?
It's a great idea. And listen, if any of them get through the wall, through the prison, onto the north side of that prison, like, stay here. Good job.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like, I mean, you've really we want you here.
Yeah, you tried really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I like that.
It. I like the whole thing.
That's one of my favorite ideas, and every time I've floated it out there, nobody ever buys into it.
Listen,
but we talked last Saturday. I'm like, Jesse's gonna buy into this.
I'm in.
Yeah, isn't that not the greatest idea?
This should be.
I don't know why Trump
didn't
think of this.
This should be like your campaign.
I should run based on that.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. See, when Trump said Mexico will pay for the wall, that's what started me on the process.
Yeah.
Because, like, why would Mexico pay for the wall? Okay, Mexico would love for people to escape, right? Less for them to have to worry about. How do we get them to build a wall? We start putting prisoners on the other side of our wall.
Right there.
Right there.
And
now
kind of make that wall of the prison facing Mexico a little bit weaker. like we're not saying go through that wall, but
right.
Yeah,
if Mexico builds a bigger wall, then we just build it up bigger on top of that. Yeah.
Yeah, and
it's guarded because you got prison guards guarding it. And I just think it would save us a lot of money, a lot of hassle. And now we have 2 walls for the price of 1.
Yeah.
I think it's great.
Listen, I would not be opposed to that.
Okay.
And I don't think that the prisoners would be opposed to it either.
No, it's beautiful weather down there.
It really works for everyone.
It really does.
Yeah.
And listen, they would have... I would even be willing to go like 500 yards.
Yeah.
Like, give them some space.
Yeah.
They can grow some farming, gardens. They can do whatever they want.
Yeah. The prisoners are...
I don't care, whatever.
Mexicans.
Anybody on that side of the wall.
Say that?
The what? The Mexicans?
Mexicans?
Yeah, I think that's the...
I mean, it's appropriate.
The Southern Americans.
No, you know what? I have some Mexican neighbors, and I asked them about this.
Can I call you Mexican? Is that what you asked? Can I call you Mexican?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. I was like, Mexican or Hispanic or Latino? And they're like, no. We're Mexicans. Yeah. I was like, what's the difference? They're like, we're from Mexico.
Yeah, I was like, all right. Call a Cuban a Mexican.
Oh, yeah.
That's a problem. You might get shot.
That's a slur.
Or the other way around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did not want me to say, like, Latinos or Hispanic.
Latinx. That's the other one, because it's, like, gender neutral. Like, Latino is male, Latina female. Latinx is, like, the college Mexican that doesn't know who they are.
Yeah, and all Mexicans don't identify with none of them identify with
all
Latinx.
of them.
All of them.
That's an all-inclusive statement. None of them.
All of none of them.
All of none of them
Identify as Latinx. That's what I call Latinx.
Yeah, that's good.
We're starting off good.
That's a great way to start off.
Yeah.
Offend half of the people that might be listening to the show. So that's good. Actually, I don't think we're offending them. I think they would appreciate that.
Yeah, I think Alejandro, my neighbor, would listen to this and be like, he gets it.
Okay, what's your first thing?
I'm going to complain a little bit.
Okay.
It's been a day. I was telling you a little bit off camera. So the day, can I start off? We went to work. Well, backstory.
You're selling coffee.
No.
You're the coffee middleman.
I am no longer the coffee middleman.
What?
Dan didn't fill you in,
No.
did he? Yep.
I added you in my...
I saw that. I saw that.
Jesse gave me his number on Saturday because we're trying to time this thing up. Dan doesn't know we're doing this, by the way, so it'll be fun when it releases and he gets to see, like, what is going on. But I added you to my contact list, and it says company. And so I typed coffee middleman.
Ex-coffee middleman.
Ex-coffee middleman.
Yeah, we gave up the coffee, the coffee life, the coffee
were
sales
you
life.
losing money on it?
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
So you were not a very good coffee
Not very
middleman.
good. No, it was, then we decided to just do the podcast, because that was kind of part of the business was the coffee and then the podcast.
Right.
And we released one episode where we were like, hey, we're going to do more of these.
Yeah.
And then the next episode, we're like, hey, we got really busy. We're going to do less of these.
Of the podcast.
Yeah.
So how many have you done?
I think we've released like 12 or 15-ish.
Okay, yeah.
So, I mean, because we would record for a couple hours, and then we'd have different segments, and we kind of break it up.
I gotcha.
But yeah, we both, Dwayne, the other coffee middleman, and I both just got super busy. And we were like, yeah, we don't have time for a podcast.
Yeah.
And
so
now
tell
I'm
me
here.
the name of the podcast. Because I don't.
It was coffee. It's not. It's done.
It's not.
now.
It's not even a thing.
I mean, it's there.
You gave up the
but it's
podcast.
Done. Gave up the podcast and
That's
the coffee.
quick.
It was.
Yeah. I mean, Dan and I have been doing this for years.
Yeah, we did not have the resolve.
2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, man. Listen, I'll pick up something quick and I'll drop it even quicker. Like, listen, commit one way or the other, and I committed for a couple minutes and then I didn't.
Yeah. Okay.
So one day I'll be producing.
So don't even drop the name of the podcast because nobody cares.
No.
Yeah.
It's not current. Any of the current stuff. It's not there anymore.
So what's your your car broke down?
My car broke down.
Yes.
All right, so it's been giving me problems for a while. Actually, back a little bit further, my truck broke down.
Okay.
And it's
You have two vehicles.
Yeah, and they're both broke down.
Oh.
As of today.
Well, you do live right beside some Mexicans.
You're saying they can fix it?
No, I'm just saying.
Just saying.
You live on that.
I do live on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
there's lots of broken cars on that side of town. I would say there's
our
more.
neighbors, Alejandro has 4 in his backyard.
See,
They're broken down.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
And
Listen, I'm not judging.
There's an auto body. Like, there's a shop right next to him.
All I'm saying is there's a train track that runs right down the middle of the town.
Yeah.
There are more broken cars. I think there's more people that live on this side of town.
Oh, yeah.
But there are more broken cars on that side of town.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's 6 now between 2 houses. So, yeah. So
that's not racist, by the way.
No,
it's just
I'm
reality.
white. 2 of them are mine. So, wow. Yeah, I'm going to get you guys kicked off YouTube. I really am. But so the truck broke down, had it towed to my house. I kind of think I might know what's wrong with it, but I don't know this stuff.
Yeah.
So I've been kind of waiting on a friend of mine who's a mechanic, and he's been really busy. So I'm like, we'll just go with one car. It'll be fine. And it starts acting up.
Yeah.
So I've changed the spark plugs. I've changed the coil packet. I've cleaned out the throttle body, all this manly stuff that I didn't know about until like yesterday.
On YouTube.
On YouTube. Yeah, like, what is wrong with my car? It goes when I start it.
Yeah.
And so it was running better. It's been running better for the past couple of days. And then randomly today, I kind of looked down, and the lights behind my mileage was like dimming and getting brighter.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's weird. And Savannah's like, maybe it's the alternator. My wife, she's more manly with this stuff
she
than
should
I
fix
am.
it.
She should. She should. I'm going to get a petition going tomorrow. And she's like, maybe it's an alternator. I'm like, yeah, it might be. You know, what do you know, woman?
Yeah. Turns out that's probably what it is.
So we stop it. So it starts acting weird. I'm like, let's go to O'Reilly and Advanced Auto and see what they have. And so they had one. So I bought one. And 5 minutes later, we drive down and get Savannah and myself a little tea thing.
Yeah.
And I shut the car off. She goes in, she comes out. I turn the car on, and it did dead.
Yeah.
No, and I'm like, it's now I'm like, yep, it's the alternator. So we have the brand new alternator sitting in the passenger seat. This happened at 4 o'clock.
Like an hour ago.
Like an hour ago. And I'm like, I got to, first, I'm like, I got podcasts I got to get to. I got to get home first.
Right.
But I had one brewing. Listen, I know. You guys
You're baking some brownies.
I was baking some brownies.
Yeah.
And all the places that I went into between where we broke down and my house, it didn't have public restrooms. So it was like the longest mile walk. Yeah. And all the while, like...
Have you ever gone into a place and it says, like, bathrooms for customers only, and you buy something just to use a bathroom?
Yeah, or act like I'm going to buy something. Walking like Pizza Hut, I'm like, oh, what kind of pizzas you guys have?
Yeah.
You guys have cauliflower... I start asking questions, like, you guys have cauliflower crust? Actually, hold on, can I use your restroom?
Yeah.
And then just
leave.
And then just leave. Yeah. I've done that.
Yeah.
Thought about it this time, but I was like, I got to get home.
Yeah.
So I can walk to the 7-Eleven studio and film this podcast. And I lost my wallet. Before. I don't know.
Did you pay for the alternator? Is that where you left it?
No, my wife did. No, I lost my wallet like yesterday.
Oh.
It's probably in Lexington.
Hard times,
it's in Lexington, Ohio, I think.
Okay.
So like 45 minutes from here.
Yeah.
It's like at some sushi restaurant that I stopped at yesterday. Yeah. So it's been a day. It has been a day.
Well, it sounds like 2 days.
I didn't know I lost it until today.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I lost it.
When you go to pay for the alternator.
Yeah, I'm like, where's my wallet? I don't know. So I just wanted to complain a little bit. I want to get that off my chest.
Have you ever lost your wallet before? Just this one time?
Like actually lost it and didn't get it back? No.
Okay.
No.
I've never lost mine either. Have you ever lost a set of keys?
No. Yes. Yeah.
So I lost once. You got little kids. Mm-hmm. When Estelle was little, she liked to play with my keys. She had some plastic keys that someone bought her that she'd play with. But when she was a toddler, 18 months, she would play with my keys. And one day they were gone. And we never found them.
Never?
She's 17. Yeah. So it's been 17 or 16 and a half years and still haven't found them. And, we looked everywhere because it had my work keys on it. Like it was like really, really important set of keys. And I think, I don't know what happened. I mean, my thought was like a toilet situation, but I don't know if you could flush keys.
Yeah.
It wasn't a super powerful. No, not my keys.
Yeah, not mine.
It wasn't one of the super powerful ones where it flushes like 89 golf balls. Like that's impressive. I don't.
That is. Listen,
I kind of want one of those.
I could probably still do some damage on one. I've got some stories.
Let me.
Finish your story.
Yeah, I don't even know where I'm at. But so I stopped plunging. I have a new method because I don't like to plunge. No.
Okay.
No. I got a bucket and I fill it with hot water.
Yeah.
And I pour the hot water into the tank. You leave it sit for about 5 minutes and it will flush itself out.
Really?
Yes. I haven't plunged in years. So I was I was driving back from Oklahoma to Ohio. We were on vacation visiting family. And we stopped at a hotel. And the first thing one of my kids did was go into the bathroom and plug it up. Like, we just walked in.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh, gosh. I'm like, there's like one lady working the counter. It was late at night. And so I went up to the counter. I'm like, ma'am, there's no plunger. My son clogged it up. Like, literally, we just checked in. And I said, if you have a plunger, I'll plunge it. Like, you don't have to send anybody to. And she goes, we don't have a plunger, but just take a bucket and pour some water, like hot water in there. I'm like, okay. She's like, if it doesn't work, we'll figure something out.
Yeah.
And I did it, and it worked. And so every time since,
I just use that.
Yeah. So I keep a bucket. I keep a 5-gallon bucket in my bathroom upstairs.
Yeah.
And I tell the kids, poop upstairs, don't poop downstairs. For many reasons. We don't have to get into that. But so they poop upstairs in the bathroom, and then they clog it up. But I just get that 5-gallon bucket, turn on the bathtub, get hot water in there, and I just pour it in the bowl.
Every time.
Every time. Now, sometimes it might drain slow, and you have to do a second pour.
Yeah.
But I've never had to plunge.
Hot water just
flushes it out. Huh. And plunging is nasty.
It is pretty
so
nasty.
Gross.
Yeah, because then after you're done, like even when you're successful, what do you do with the plunger? Right? Put it in the shower?
You put it behind the toilet with the goober goose on it. I mean, it's really gross.
Now,
have you ever seen the accordion plunger things?
That just have like the little accordion on the bottom of the plunger, or is it like a whole thing?
So it's got a handle, and then it's got like a tube that has like the curlicues on it, and it's supposed to grab like extra pressure. We had one of those for a while. That was pretty good.
Yeah, but not as good as the hot water.
The hot water is the best.
Hot water's the best.
And it's clean. I don't make a mess.
Yeah, you just dump it in.
Just pour the hot water in. So listen, little hack. I'm sure a plumber will contact me and say, hot water is horrible for the toilet. You're going to break the seal
everything.
and everything's going to come out. I'm sure that's probably what's going to happen. But you know what? I haven't had to plunge.
Yeah.
And
you haven't had to buy a plunger.
And it's been years. I mean, I own a plunger.
Oh, see, I would fully commit, man.
Do you own a plunger?
I do, but I won't now.
So
I'll throw it out.
Go to
I'll just throw
Menards.
it away.
You can buy a 5-gallon bucket for like $3.
Dude, I got buckets.
I got buckets. Oh, I got buckets.
I got buckets.
One time I bought like 50 buckets at Home Depot. They're like $2 a piece. And it was one of the greatest investments ever. Bucket, you can use a bucket for almost anything.
Yeah. Anything that you would need to carry something in.
I love buckets.
Listen, you could even substitute the toilet for a bucket.
Yes, listen, we go camping. Well, I call it Bigfoot hunting, but it's camping. We haven't actually found it. We actually, Stella and I, she was with me. She found a footprint in Wayne National Forest.
Did you photograph this?
Yeah, it's on Instagram somewhere. I'll show you later. And it was by a creek bed. There's a clear footprint, and it was... trying to think, it was like October, and it was chilly. It wasn't cold out, but it was pretty chilly, and there's no people around.
Yeah.
Like, we were in the national forest. Why is there a bare foot in the creek bed? And it wasn't any of us. There was maybe 10 people with us. None of us.
And it was big. Like,
it was probably my foot size, but I mean, it could have been an adolescent.
Well, yeah.
But how many bare feet people are walking through the woods?
I legitimately think there could be big feet. I'm not, but big feet?
Yeah.
Bigfoots.
Whatever. Yeah.
Bigfoot. Yeah. Whatever the plural
I actually
is.
believe it 100%.
I can get on board with it, but I would just expect, if I saw a footprint that was a human size, I'm like, yeah, that's not Bigfoot. Right? Because the whole thing of it being a Bigfoot.
See, that's the whole thing, is like where... It was a creek bed. It's going to wash out within 24 hours. Why is this footprint there, and who left it?
Maybe it was a hobo, or a forest dweller. Hobo. Can I say hobo? Man, I'm getting...
Yeah, he could be a hobo. I mean, you didn't refer to him as a Mexican hobo. I mean, that's like next level. Don't do that. So, I don't know. You were still fixing your car? Was there more to that?
No, it was just that it's been a day. And we even bought AAA today. So we bought the alternator, and we were like, we should probably buy AAA. And then the car breaks down, and my wife was like, hey, I'm getting AAA right now so we can get towed.
How much is AAA?
It's like $120 roughly.
For a year.
Yeah. And you get like so many tows within 100 miles. And
it's not bad, because I don't know what a tow costs, but it's got to be 100, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so one tow is worth it.
This will be the second tow. I had to use my dad's AAA with my truck.
Yeah.
So this will be the second tow, and you know what? We might as well have it.
Yeah. I haven't had AAA in years. I don't remember the last time I've had it. But I haven't had to tow my vehicle either.
So you
it
probably
usually breaks down at my house.
I say you probably take care of it before it gets nabbed.
I don't know. Not really. I mean, my wife's car has had a few issues, and it's a Volkswagen Jetta. The dashboard looks like you're playing like slots at a casino. There's lights and buzzers and bells and
all the time.
Looks like all the time. So we just ignore it.
Yep.
It drives fine.
Yeah.
But I think every light on the dashboard is lit.
Oh,
I mean, every single one.
That would give me anxiety.
It does hurt. But
yeah.
I can't
just cover them up with electrical tape.
Yeah, we've thought about it. Or spray paint. I can't see the mileage either or the speedometer, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so I have a couple things here. I've been watching some of the Olympics. There's a new... Listen, I'm not going to get into the political stuff. If you don't love America, don't play for America.
Yep.
Problem solved. But there's a new category, a new sport. It's basketball 3-on-3. Okay? It's not... traditional is 5-on-5, but there's a 3-on-3 half-court basketball, brand new this year. I was wondering, I typed this down. Do you think you, me, and Dan could beat any women's team? Could we win the gold?
Any women's team?
Like 3-on-3, you, me, and Dan versus like the best women in the world, 3-on-3. I think we could. I think it'd be close,
right? Because like there's what's that one basketball player's name? She went to Baylor. She's like in the WNBA. No one watches WNBA, no. So who knows? But anyway,
I mean, their families probably do.
I doubt it. I doubt it. There was a poll one time, or maybe it wasn't a poll, but people went around and asked random people on the street, would you rather find a $5 bill or have your local like home team, WNBA team, win the championship?
$5 bill won.
And like 98% were like the $5 bill. Like $5 is all it takes. So, and some of those people were women too.
Where the break point is, a quarter. You found a nickel on the ground.
Dude, a nickel pays a parking meter for like 12 minutes where I work. So,
I'll take the nickel.
But yeah, I think it'd be close. But like that lady is, I mean, she's like 6'7".
Yeah. How tall are you?
I'm like 6'1.5".
Okay, so you would be our center.
I would definitely. Yeah.
And I mean, you could probably post up, throw some elbows.
I do think I could push her around a little bit. She's pretty.
You got a little weight on her.
I got a little bit.
Yeah.
And listen. Ask Dan. So we play basketball together on Thursday nights.
Okay.
Now, he did miss it last week, but I was balling on Thursday night.
Here's the other thing: it's only half court.
Oh
so
yeah,
that's the part.
Yeah, so being in shape.
Yeah. If we had to play full court against women, we'd lose.
Yeah, I wouldn't even try. I wouldn't sign up for that.
It's half court.
Yeah,
we could totally do this.
Yeah, I think we could.
I want to challenge whoever wins a gold.
Yeah,
I think we should play them.
I'd be okay.
We need a sub, an alternate. I think Aaron might be the sub. Yeah,
and I don't think he plays basketball.
No, he doesn't.
I don't think he knows the rules.
I've seen him shoot. It's not. It's not good. Although he makes shots. I mean, I've played with him before. It's just he's not a basketball player.
Yeah.
He's not a sports guy. But he's in shape.
Yeah.
So
far more in shape than I am.
Then you, me, and Dan.
Yeah. I'm working on it.
I'm trying.
I'm in the weight loss thing with Dan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so, we've been getting less fat together.
Yeah, I go through cycles,
Yeah.
And I'm currently working on my before. So that's...
You're really trying to get that perfect
I just want to really
picture.
get the good before so that I can get a really good after. I mean, the more of a contrast you have, the more impressive it looks.
Yeah, so Dan kind of does... You guys are cut from the same cloth, so...
Yeah, I'd say Dan's a little bit, bigger than me.
A little bit.
I mean, he's shaped. Now, here's the thing. Dan carries it better.
Yeah. So when he told me how much he weighed at first, I was like, what?
Yeah.
No.
I mean, he's... tub of lard, but it doesn't look like it.
Yeah.
So like his arms, his thighs, I mean everything's like equally fat.
Yeah.
Like I just have a gut.
Yeah.
I mean I got skinny arms.
Yeah,
I just have a huge gut.
Those are not fat person arms.
These are not fat person arms. Now my face is a little round, but the beard kind of hides it up.
Yeah.
So
doesn't matter.
I have skinny people arms.
Yeah.
Look at my wrist. I can go.
See,
you can't even do it.
I got fat people wrists. I also have really stubby little hands. Like these are not.
I wouldn't admit that on air. I mean,
have you seen those Burger King commercials back in the day?
Yeah.
Like the Whopper, the tiny hands. That's how I feel eating like a normal size sandwich.
Yeah, there's an old Kevin James. I don't know. I think it was on King of Queens, and he was talking about like losing weight, and he's like, talking about his fat person face, right? Do you remember how that went? He's like, I have a fat person face. Yeah, and I love it because I think that sometimes.
I was saying, Dan, so we're in this app. It's called Fastic, and it tracks your fasting.
Okay.
We were doing this
fasting.
fasting.
Because you guys go, do you eat once a day?
I was for a while. Father's Day weekend screwed me up, and that was like a month and a half ago.
It was like 2 months. It's August.
Dude, it was bad, man.
It's been 8
for
weeks.
2 months, I fasted for 20 hours a day, and I felt great.
Yeah. 4-hour window.
Yeah.
Okay.
Father's Day weekend turned into Father's Day 2 months.
Yeah.
So it's been tough, but... We have like our profiles on this app, and we can see when we're fasting and all that. And Dan's, he went like, so his picture, picture is like hideous.
Yeah, double
and like it like quadruple. He's like really like puffing it out. I'm like, what's that about? And he's like, that's just my before.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's cheating.
Yeah, that's pretty good. No, I see some of the Instagram posts because I follow. There was a while there I was doing keto. I haven't been on keto for a long time, but I follow all the keto hashtags on Instagram and scroll through. And to see the change in people is remarkable.
It is.
You see 300-pound people go down to like $160.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
That's what I'm working on, man. I'm working on it. Listen, I was 295.
Okay.
And then in 3 months, I went from 295 to 270.
Okay.
And so my thing was the blood sugar.
Yeah.
Got that under control. My doctor's like, "You're good, dude."
Yeah.
She didn't quite say that, but that's what I heard.
So, like I can start eating like real food again, right?
No.
Yeah.
That's not how it works for me.
So what are you right now?
268.
Okay.
Today. 268 this morning. So
yeah, my I think we talked about this the other day, and nobody cares, but my biggest ever was 248. And I remember thinking, like, I never want to be 250.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not going to do it. Like, there was a mental thing in my brain. I'm like, that's when I went hardcore keto. I went from 248 to 186, like in 6 months.
Yeah.
I felt great.
Yeah.
But
and you're like, I
love to eat.
I like to eat.
I like to eat.
I like to eat crap.
And so I've put it back on.
Yep.
I'm not all the way back up yet, but Dan and I are probably about the same right now.
Yeah.
And it's time for me to kick it back in.
Yeah.
Because I can't be fatter than Dan.
No.
That's
no. And
a
listen,
problem.
he's serious about it.
Well, I mean,
he got
he
an
says he is.
elliptical.
We'll see.
Listen.
A lot of people can do it for a month or two.
Like the last episode, he's talking about the chiropractor.
Yeah.
I happen to go to the same chiropractor.
Did he tell you the same thing? Yeah,
in a roundabout way.
Do it for 2 months.
So, well,
let's see.
I've been going for my shoulder.
In a year.
Yeah, I've been going for my shoulder. My shoulder got better this last appointment. He's like, "Yeah, man, you're good." I'm like, "Hey, doc, can you look at my foot? My foot's been hurting the last 6 months. I think my son stepped on it."
Look, I don't even have to lose weight.
Well, no. So he looks at it and like he sent me through. I was like in pain, and he's like, "Yeah, you might have a fractured foot."
Oh.
And I'm like, "Oh, okay." So he's talking to me about X-rays, and this was Thursday, right before basketball. And I'm like, "So you're probably going to tell me that I shouldn't go play basketball like right now?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well, I mean, I wouldn't recommend it." And I was like, "But like I do it to lose weight."
Yeah.
And he goes, "Yeah, go to basketball." I was like,
"That's pretty funny."
Yep. Yeah, it was just so like, you need to lose weight or you need to, not run on a broken foot.
Lose weight.
Go lose weight.
That's pretty funny. Yeah. Have you met my sister?
No, I don't think so.
When we were in high school, she ran cross country. I think 1 year she ran. But she broke her foot and ran on it for 2 weeks through races, through practice and stuff. She was complaining that her foot hurt, but everybody's like rolling their eyes like she's just complaining, whatever. Then finally went in, had an x-ray, and you have a broken foot.
Yeah.
So, that's pretty tough.
I challenged my wife to a race last night.
Oh, yeah. She beat you.
Yeah, and it was totally because I have a broken foot.
Yeah, you can blame the broken foot.
I did. Immediately. Halfway through, I stopped and I was like, broken foot.
That's funny. I raced, so I took the kids to camp this year, and Harrison said that he's faster than me. Harrison is 14 years old. And I'm not slow.
Yeah.
Now, there was a time I was fairly fast. I've also aged, and I've also put on some weight. And I'm like, no, you're not faster than me.
Yeah.
So we raced 40 yards, and he beat me.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
by a lot?
Not a whole lot, but enough to where I'm like, yeah, we're not going to race again.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I can beat you at this point.
You're like,
Gideon
shouldn't have done this.
Smoked me. Gideon was racing too. He smoked both of us.
Which one's Gideon?
The adopted one.
Okay.
The black one. And he's really, really fast. He is really, really fast. And he was faster than me when he was 5. We were at a Father's Day picnic get together thing, and he had a cup with ice in it, and he would throw a piece of ice at me.
Yeah.
I said, stop. And he did it again. I said, stop. And he did it again. I said, do it again. See what happens. He did it again. I stood up. He stood up. I took one step. He took one step. I took off after him. I could not catch him.
Well, I mean.
So he's fast. At age 5, I'm 35.
Yeah.
Or, plus or minus a little bit. He was faster than me. Age
you know
5.
what? You're adopted.
You're adopted.
You're adopted. I tell my son that all the time. My 5-year-old. He's 5. My son's 5. And he insults me by using my own name.
Oh, yeah.
Like, instead of dad,
he'll
be like, fine, Jesse. And then he'll add stuff. Like, the other day he called me Jesse Wilburton.
That's funny.
I'm like, why Jesse Wilburton? And so I don't know what else to say. I don't want to insult a 5-year-old. So I'm like, Maddox, you're adopted. and he'll be like, no, you're adopted. I'm like, oh, that didn't work.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. Okay, so let's hit the Netflix here. Song is so long.
Netflix, watch these shows with us.
You do the math.
Netflix, Netflix, or maybe
audiobooks?
Plus.
Here's my suggestion.
Netflix, Netflix, watch these shows with us. Netflix, or maybe Hulu Plus.
Yeah, Stella's account.
Or maybe Amazon Prime or something like that, like
that's
YouTube.
true. People joke about.
We don't want to put a
think
box
we're joking.
around what you
He
watch.
has all of our accounts.
You never
He's
know.
on Stella's Hulu, Stella's Netflix. I think your Disney Plus too, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think he uses all of our stuff.
What do you keep giving him the passwords for?
She goes over there like dog sit, and before they switched houses, and she would log in the Xbox and never logged out.
Never logged out.
And so I think that's why they invited her to dog sit, just to get the accounts.
They're like, hey, stick around,
They didn't
hang
even
out,
need
watch
a dog
TV.
sitter. Yeah. Yeah, watch TV. Watch whatever you
Whatever you want. A little bit of Netflix.
Yeah. Okay, so my Netflix suggestion of the week is Hot Rod. And listen, I may have used this before, but I don't care. Hot Rod is one of the funniest movies I've ever seen in my life.
That's Andy Samberg,
It's Andy Samberg, and it's Bill Hader, and it's also Danny McBride. And if you ever listen to the show, you know I love Danny McBride. I think this is one of his early ones, too.
Yeah.
So I don't know what he was in before this, but this was one of the first times I saw him.
2007,
I think.
2007.
And so it's 14, 15 years old, and it's almost a cult classic at this point. Like, if you know it, you know it, and if you don't, you don't. It's not out there.
And you either love it or you absolutely hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so a couple of my kids like it, which is great because I can watch it with them. And it's a fabulous movie. It's very, well, it's PG-13, and I was gonna say it's very PG-13.
Yeah.
So it's not an R,
borderline.
and it's not little kid. So if you're in that phase where your kid is between 10 and 13, it's probably like on the line.
Yeah.
Like maybe okay. It depends on your kid. So sometimes I suggest movies, and I know that we have a couple friends. I know their kids listen with them in the car and stuff like that. So I don't want them thinking, "Oh, Dad, Jason said we could watch Hot Rod." No, I didn't say that. I'm just saying.
And kids anymore have like their access to everyone, like to their parents' Netflix and stuff.
Sure
They'll be watching it and
all
quoting
sorts
it.
of stuff.
And,
yeah, zombie stuff. We've stayed away from the scary movies with my little ones because I think they would have nightmares.
Yeah.
And they're asking to watch more and more scary stuff, but I don't know if they can handle it.
Yeah, my wife can't handle it. She will not watch scary movies with me.
Yeah, so my wife refuses to watch post-apocalyptic stuff. Because it's too real, like this could happen.
Yeah.
And she refuses to watch scary zombie stuff. She'll watch comedy zombie stuff.
Yeah.
So like Warm Bodies. Have you ever seen that?
I've not. I've heard of it.
It's funny.
Yeah.
It's good. And then there's another one. What's that Bill Murray one?
Zombieland.
No. She doesn't watch zombie. What's the other one?
Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead, but she'll watch that one. But that's not the one I was thinking. With the guy from Star Wars, Adam Driver.
Another one?
Yeah, they're cops. Remember? It's one we just bought this last summer. Bill Murray's really old, and it's Kylo Ren, and they're cops, and they're going through this town.
Oh.
I don't even remember what that was called. But that was actually pretty funny. It was very, very dry.
Okay.
And so it was. I like dry. I think dry is hilarious. Very dry, like almost to the point where like this is stupid.
Yeah.
But it was so stupid it was funny, and it's Bill Murray. I love Bill Murray.
Yeah. He is getting like
He's pretty
ancient.
old. Yeah.
Yeah. He looks bad.
He looked old 30 years ago, which is different than Steve Martin. Steve Martin looks younger now than he did 30 years ago, which is really
He's
weird.
probably keto.
Either that or he's like, I'll
Conspiracy theory.
Yeah, I can't go there. Okay, so what's your Netflix suggestion?
Well, since we're on conspiracy theories, so I don't watch much TV. I've been listening to a lot of audiobooks lately.
Yeah.
And the first one I listened to is free on Audible.
Yeah.
1984 by George Orwell.
It's great.
I have several friends who are like, you need to read the book. I even bought the book, and I just don't sit down to read a lot. And when I saw that was one of the ones, I was like, I'm listening to that.
Yeah.
And holy smokes.
It's great.
Listen, if you're a conservative, not to get too political, but definitely if you're a conservative, watch it. And if you're not...
I think anybody needs to.
Well, yeah, but if you're not a conservative, watch it and be like, hey, that's kind of what my party's doing.
Yeah.
You know?
Listen, I don't care at this point, because if you rewind, how old are you?
27.
So what year were you born?
93.
Okay, so, so you were a kid during 9/11.
Yes. Yeah.
So how old were you? Like 7?
Yeah, it would have been like first or second grade.
Yeah,
I think
so,
second grade.
I mean, I was an adult with kids.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit older than you.
Just a little bit.
But when that happened, they instituted the Patriot Act.
Yeah.
Which basically allowed the government to spy on Americans.
Yeah.
Well, that was a Republican party that did that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So the idea that it's either Democrats or Republicans doing this stuff, I'm beyond that.
I just like to be in the in group.
Right? I know, but I know. I get that.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you right now, it's the government.
It's the whole thing.
It's the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's the whole system. They're spying on Americans. And this right here.
Oh, yeah.
It spies on you.
Yeah.
I know it 100%. 100% your phone spies on you. I'll say something. I'll say, you have a Tweety Bird shirt. I'll say something like Tweety Bird. And I'm telling you, when I go home and I'll have an ad on my phone for Tweety Bird something.
Yeah.
I guarantee it. I guarantee it will happen. Things I've never talked about, I've never searched, I've never Googled.
Yeah.
Or the other day it happened, I don't remember what the thing was. Someone else in the room, someone else in the room said, when I was a kid, I went to go see this comedian, and he said the name of the comedian. And I'd never even heard of this comedian.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like, he was popular in 1980. This guy's older than me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I never heard of him, but, it was part of the conversation. I went home, and I'm just scrolling through YouTube.
Boom.
That comedian, an old special from like 1983, popped up on my phone.
And it's like, how else?
Of course they're spying on us. 100%. But 1984, it's right there.
Yeah.
And we're living in it right now.
When I'm listening to Animal Farm right now, like that's the next one.
Yeah, that's only, have you got into it?
Yeah, I'm like an hour from
Okay,
being
yeah,
done.
yeah.
I
So that's
started
like a
this
3-hour
morning.
listen.
Yeah.
I've done that one too. Animal Farm, I might like Animal Farm better.
Yeah. Because it's much shorter, but like you can kind of see what's happening really quick. The progression happens really quick. But so those ones I would say would be the first recommendation. I do say you're a true crime guy, right?
Yeah.
So I listened to an audiobook. Have you heard of the Iceman?
No.
So the Iceman was like this notorious killer. He did some hits for the mafia. He just he had no problem killing. Okay. He wasn't like addicted to it. He would just do it.
Yeah.
And it's like an 11-hour. It's a very long book, but it talks about how
it's like true crime.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. True crime. Yep.
It's free to listen. Or
yes.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah, that one's free to listen on Audible.
Okay.
And it's called. I think it's just called The Iceman.
Okay.
And it's the story about how this undercover cop busted him. That was the kind of leads through. But what's crazy, if you just look up an interview of the Iceman, like they do interviews with him in prison, he's got this creepy demeanor, just very calm, very and the author. So I would say watch an interview first, and then listen to the book.
Okay.
The narrator, not the author. The narrator gets his voice.
He channels them.
Oh my gosh! Yeah. It's almost like they were like, "Here, Iceman, read this book about you," and it was good. So that I think did it for me.
So what? I'm sorry, I kind of tuned you out for a second. What's the guy's crime?
I'm boring.
He killed people.
He killed over. He.
Well, I don't know if you even
100.
said it. I
did not. Okay. He killed over 100.
Okay.
Let me get the name for sure. What the book's called.
So I watched on Discovery Plus. There was a true crime thing about a serial killer. It was an older black guy, and he had traveled the country, murdering people and females, and he confirmed it killed over 100.
Yeah.
Like in a period of 50 years, they never caught him.
Yep.
And his memory was so good that he was able to take colored pencils, and he was a fabulous artist.
Yeah.
And he drew pictures of all the girls with real things. Like one girl would have a necklace, and he would draw the necklace on her, and they would match it up, and these pictures are identical. And he did it all from memory.
I think I've seen that.
It's a good one. Now, listen, I'm not. I think it's a mutual friend of ours. I was going to leave her name out of it, but she posted today on Facebook. She said, "Don't judge me, but my favorite thing is to watch people being killed on TV." And it's like, Okay, I'm kind of there with you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't like it, but it fascinates me
Yeah.
to get into the mind of these people and like what makes them tick.
Yeah.
Why are they thinking this?
Well, and with this book, it is called The Iceman. Like, it talks about it starts off in his childhood. Like, his first kill was when he was young. He was bullied by this kid.
Yeah.
And he beat him to death and was terrified. And like, he saw the cops at the scene the next day. No one ever questioned him.
Yeah.
He never, and so he got away with it.
It gave him some boldness.
And it gave him that boldness. And he was like, no one's ever going to make me feel like that. So anytime someone tried to get one over on him, he's like,
that's
nah,
one of the
dead.
reasons why I don't do road rage.
Yeah.
Because there's
never know.
lots of people. I'm serious.
Yeah.
There are lots of people that do stupid things. We were driving back from Cedar Point amusement park here in Ohio, but Route 4 is the road to get from Cedar Point to Marion. It's a 2-lane.
Yeah.
And if you get stuck behind just a couple vehicles, you're driving 45, 50, and it's frustrating.
For miles, too.
For miles and miles and miles. And there's enough cross traffic that it's difficult to pass.
Yeah.
And so the other day I'm coming home with the kids, and there was 3 or 4 cars in front of me, and we were all driving probably 50. The speed limit's 55. I know it's frustrating. I get it.
Yeah.
But I'm also in the family car with my kids.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's fine. We're going to get home within 5 minutes of whether I was driving 65. And a guy, I saw him in the mirror as I'm driving, passed 2 or 3 cars at once and got right behind me. And he's like, swerving in and out, looking at the cross traffic to try to pass again. And I got so angry. I'm like, you're going to wreck us all.
Yeah.
We're going to wreck us all. We're all going to die on Route 4. And sometimes my inner Jason, I don't like to express him, but he comes out and things happen.
Yeah.
And so, but that's my hesitation, is to hear stories like that where it's like, listen, you don't know how unstable people are.
Yeah.
And one word, one comment, one fly of the finger or whatever you choose to do could be your last.
It could be the Iceman.
It could be the
passing you,
Iceman.
man.
Yeah.
You know why
that's
he's
enough.
called the Iceman? Because one of his victims he kept in a deep freezer for 2 years.
Yeah.
And then dumped the body so they couldn't identify the time of death.
Oh, yeah. I've seen stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's an old... do you know what Matlock is?
I've heard you guys talk about it. I can't get into old TV
so
shows.
It doesn't matter, but it's Andy Griffith, and he's a lawyer, and he's talking with a bunch of college kids, and in this college class, they were coming up with the perfect murder, and one of the reasons why they track people to murder is the murder weapon.
Yeah.
And so they were coming up with the perfect murder weapon, and they determined that it was an icicle.
Yeah.
That would melt.
Yep.
There are no fingerprints. There's no weapon. You can't prove. It could have been anything sharp that killed that person.
Yeah, anything sharp and wet.
So this class ended up and then they ended up like killing their professor, and Matlock is the one who like solved it. Huh. And so I've never forgotten that. I mean, this is like 30 years ago, and I remember thinking, if I ever need to kill someone, I'm not saying I will, but an icicle would be a great weapon.
And you never know. I mean, you might have to someday.
Listen, I don't want to. I don't want to kill anybody. I really don't.
I mean, I was going to make a joke at the top of the episode about how I've successfully killed off Dan. And
yeah, too soon.
Too soon.
We got to let that one sit for a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
But R.I.P. Tom Selleck.
Yeah. I don't know why he told on himself. He should have just it's a beta fish. They all look the same.
Yeah.
Just go get another one. None of the kids would have known.
Nope.
And it's like, well, what? It looks like his fin's starting to change color a little bit. That's weird.
It just happens when they get older.
Yeah.
We get gray, right?
Yeah, that's right. The fish is just aging. Okay, so we only have a couple minutes. Do you have... I have 21 different things. Do you have anything pressing that you want to talk about?
Pressing? No.
Okay, so if you had to move... We got 2 minutes to do this. If you had to move to another country and or state, what would it be?
State, Florida.
Why?
Ron DeSantis.
Okay. No,
I mean, the
good.
weather,
Yeah.
certainly. And it'd be like northern Florida.
Like Pensacola?
Yeah,
okay.
Gulf
Coast.
Like probably not even coastal. Like just northern
Florida has a lot of coast.
Like the part of Florida that's attached
Almost
to whatever
Georgia.
state. Yeah, Georgia, right? That Florida-Georgia line,
okay,
right?
Yeah.
Another country, though. I don't know that I'd want to live anywhere else. I mean, I would say Canada, but they're getting pretty restrictive on.
No, it's pretty bad. America's the best.
Yeah, like I had to explain it to a 14-year-old this week. We won't get there.
I think for me, another state. I mean, there's places I wouldn't mind moving for weather purposes and things like that, but for freedom purposes, I think Texas is the way to go.
Yes,
because I think long term, Texas will remain free.
I hope so.
I think in Florida, I think over time it could start to slant. I really do.
It could. That's if, nothing crazy happens in the next 2 years, 3 years. Yeah, I think it will.
I think Texas is Texas. You know what I'm saying?
Like, I mean, they literally call it the great country of Texas.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm from the great country of Texas.
So I think for me, I think it would be Texas. And I think another country, I like the idea of New Zealand. There are no poisonous snakes, like no poisonous spiders, things like that. And that's where they filmed Lord of the Rings, like The Hobbit, The Shire. I would love
seen any of them. Yeah. Did I just lose my job?
Kind of.
As producer.
I love The Shire.
No, I don't know. Speaking for, I will say another country figured it out, and I can hear my wife as she's listening to this say, like, "Why didn't you say Australia?"
Okay, yeah.
My wife has always wanted to go. Like, that's a big plan. Like, for one of our big anniversaries.
Crazy poisonous
Australia.
Things. There's a spider. They caught a spider there in a barn 3 feet wide. The spider is 3 feet.
That's terrifying. I mean, listen, I have a pet snake.
A spider.
But a spider that's 3 feet?
It's a spider that's 3 feet in diameter.
A spider that's 3 inches, kind of.
I'm not a spider fan.
I'm not either.
A 3-foot spider.
A 3-foot spider? That's a freaking dog.
It's bigger than my dog.
Have you ever seen, was it Arachnophobia?
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's...
I love that movie.
Was that the one that... No, 8-Legged Freaks. That was the one I watched as a child, and I think that's where my fear of spiders came from.
I saw Arachnophobia as a child.
Yeah.
And that one's back in the 80s.
Yeah, so mine is... Yeah, I'm not as old as you.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. The other day, I work with a guy who I look at as a peer.
Yeah.
And I asked him one time, I said, how old are you? And he's like 27. I'm like, I'm almost old enough to be your dad. And you're closer to my daughter's age than my age.
Yeah.
And it hurts me.
You've told me that.
It hurts me.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah. I have an older sister that's your age. So I still see you as a peer.
Okay. That's good.
Almost 40 isn't old.
I'm over 40. By a couple. But, Dan's almost 40. Or Dan just turned 40.
Yeah. It's last week.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Dan.
Yeah, so you might be getting a phone call in the next day or two when this posts.
Okay.
I don't know if he actively watches or listens, but his father-in-law does, and that's where he's at. So his father-in-law is going to turn on YouTube and see you instead of him and say, what the heck?
Hey, Dan's father-in-law.
Terry.
Hey, Terry.
Terry's a good guy. I like Terry. And I'm not just saying that because he's watching.
Well, he also calls you frequently.
He does. Well, he sends me text, and, he bought me a book a while back, and he sends me coffee. Terry's a great guy.
He's never called me, so.
No, he doesn't know you. So. Okay, well, this is Jason signing off for Jesse. Remember to always keep your stick on the ice and never wear the blue sweats.
Yeah. Sit, Bubba, sit. I have spoken.
No, you can say good dog. Yeah, I say
good dog.
I have spoken. That's how it goes.
All right.